All right, everybody, buckle up because we are diving deep today into the world of AI prompts, that is. And our guidebook for this adventure is Writing AI Prompts for Dummies. It's like we're on a mission, you and I, to decode how to talk to AI.
It really is like learning a secret language, isn't it? One that unlocks a treasure trove of creativity and productivity even.
Oh, you know me, always up for a treasure hunt. And you're right, this book is like a gold mine. It really gets into like the nitty-gritty of how AI thinks, which, let's face it, can be a little mind-bending at first.
Yeah, it's a little bit like peeking behind the curtain of like a magic show.
Yeah.
Right? But the fun part is once you understand the mechanics of it all, you can kind of orchestrate the magic yourself.
I like that. That's a great way to put it. And the book actually does a really good job of like breaking down these different flavors, I guess you could call them, of AI. I'll be honest, I used to think AI was just like this one big thing, but it turns out there are actually different types, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like, when you're comparing apples and oranges. They're both fruit, but they definitely have some distinct characteristics, right? And in the AI world, we often talk about two main types: discriminative AI and generative AI.
Okay, so lay it on me. Give me the AI tasting menu. What's the difference between these two?
Well, discriminative AI, that's like the detective of the AI world. It's really good at analyzing information and then, making decisions based on all the patterns that it's learned. Think like facial recognition software or spam filters. They're using all the existing data to categorize and sort things.
Okay, so it's like the AI version of Sherlock Holmes then. Analyzing clues and solving those mysteries. What about generative AI? What's its, like, superpower?
Generative AI, that's the artist,
Mhm.
the creator. This is the one that's making all the headlines for writing poems, composing music, even generating those super realistic deepfakes that you see online. It
Yeah.
basically takes everything that's learned and uses that to create something totally new.
So, if discriminative AI is Sherlock, then generative AI is like the Picasso of the AI world, right? Pushing those boundaries of creativity.
Nailed it. And just like an artist needs inspiration, generative AI, it needs data, and lots of it.
Right.
It basically devours all of this data just to learn the patterns, the relationships, even just like the nuances of human language.
The book actually mentions something called neural networks. That's where the real learning magic happens, am I right?
You got it. Think of a neural network like a huge web of these interconnected neurons, kind of like, how our brains work, but on a much, much larger scale. Each connection in that network represents something, like a learned relationship between different pieces of information.
So is it that as the AI is processing more and more data, all these connections, they just get stronger, and then that leads to these more sophisticated outputs? Kind of like how, as humans, we learn things, right? Our knowledge base grows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the more diverse and the more comprehensive the data is, the more nuanced and the more creative the AI's output's going to be. It's kind of like comparing a chef who's only ever cooked, say, pasta, to a chef who's mastered all of these different cuisines from around the world. The chef who's been exposed to a wider range of ingredients and different cooking techniques, they're going to be able to create dishes that are much more complex and flavorful.
Okay, you're making me hungry for more AI insights now. But seriously, we've covered a lot of ground here. Different types of AI, the power of data, those impressive neural networks. But before we move on, I have a question. If we're giving the AI all of this data to learn from, how do we make sure it's actually learning the right things?
That's a great question. And it really gets to the heart of what makes AI so fascinating, right? It's basically a reflection of all the data it's been trained on. So if we want AI to be, a force for good in the world, then we really need to be mindful of what information we're feeding it. Oh, absolutely. It's almost like, when you're raising a child, you want to expose them to all sorts of different perspectives, encourage them to think critically, and help them develop like a strong moral compass. And in a lot of ways, the same goes for AI. We have to be really thoughtful about the data that we use to train these systems. And we need to make sure that it's reflecting the values that we actually want to see reflected in the world.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's maybe shift gears just a little bit here and talk about some of the more practical applications of AI. You shared some excerpts from the book Noonfellow, Writing AI Prompts for Dummies. That really caught my eye, especially when it comes to how AI is being used by writers, marketers, even musicians.
Oh yeah, get ready for a wild ride because AI is totally revolutionizing these fields. Like faster than you can say algorithm. It's basically like having an army of these creative assistants right at your fingertips, ready to help you brainstorm, write, edit, and even promote your work.
Okay, you've definitely got my attention. Let's start with writers. I've heard a lot of buzz about AI writing assistants, but I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical. Can they really help writers? Or are they just like a fancy gimmick?
They're definitely much more than a gimmick. I mean, think of them like turbocharged writing partners. They can actually assist with a whole range of tasks, from generating content ideas to even helping you refine your writing style. They can even help you overcome writer's block by, offering some fresh perspectives, suggesting some different directions for your writing to take.
So it's like having a brainstorming buddy, an editor, and a thesaurus all rolled into one then. That's pretty impressive. But can you give me some specific examples of how these AI writing assistants are being used in the real world?
Totally. So imagine you're a marketer and you're tasked with writing, say, engaging social media posts every single day. Instead of staring at that blank screen, you could actually use an AI writing assistant to generate a whole week's worth of posts in just minutes. And they come complete with catchy headlines, all the relevant hashtags, maybe even a little bit of humor thrown in there.
That would be a game changer for a lot of social media managers out there. But what about longer form content, like say blog posts or even books? Can AI really help with that too?
Absolutely. A lot of writers are using AI writing assistants now to help them outline their ideas, draft different sections, and even refine their writing style. Some tools can even analyze your target audience and then suggest ways to make your writing even more engaging and more relatable.
Wow. It sounds like these tools could be incredibly helpful for writers of all levels then, right? From bloggers to even novelists. The book mentioned a few specific AI writing assistants that seemed really interesting, like Jasper, Copy.ai, Claude. Are these kind of the big players in the field right now?
Those are definitely some of the leaders, yeah. And each one has its own strengths, its own specialties. So Jasper, for example, it's a big favorite among marketers, especially for its ability to craft really compelling copy and blog posts. And then you've got Copy.ai, which is known for its versatility. It can handle anything from social media captions to full-blown website content.
Yeah.
And then there's Claude, which is developed by Anthropic, and it's gaining a lot of recognition for its ability to summarize complex documents and even answer questions in a really comprehensive but still concise way.
It's amazing. It's almost like each tool has its own personality, members of a writing team, each with their own unique strengths and quirks. I'm curious, though, how much human input is still needed when you're using these tools? Are we really just hitting a button and letting the AI do all the work?
Not quite. I mean, while these tools are definitely incredibly powerful, they are still just that, tools. The human element is still super important, for providing direction, for refining the output, and making sure that the final product really aligns with your vision and your goals.
So it's more of a collaborative partnership then, leveraging the strengths of both human and artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
That is reassuring to hear. I am curious, though, about the potential downsides of using these AI writing assistants. I've heard some concerns about, plagiarism and even the possibility of these tools being used to create misleading or even harmful content.
Yeah, those are definitely valid concerns. It's really important that we address them head on. Plagiarism obviously is a serious issue, and while most of these reputable AI writing assistants, they have built-in safeguards to try and prevent it, I always think it's wise to, double check the output using a plagiarism checker.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
That's good advice. What about the potential for AI to be used for unethical purposes, though? Creating fake news or even spreading misinformation?
That's where the importance of responsible AI development and use really comes in.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we have those ethical guidelines and regulations in place to prevent the misuse of these really powerful technologies.
So it's really a shared responsibility then. We need to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits society as a whole. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll delve a little deeper into those ethical considerations in a bit. For now, let's continue exploring the exciting ways AI is being used in other creative fields, like marketing.
Oh, I'm ready to talk marketing AI. It really is like a match made in data heaven. Let's dive in.
Marketing and AI, sitting in a tree, it feels like those two were just meant to be together.
It really is a match made in data heaven. Because, marketing is all about understanding your audience, their needs, their desires, right? And AI just gives you that power to do it all with this, incredible accuracy.
Yeah, it's like having this, super powered marketing assistant who can analyze mountains of data in seconds. And not only that, but then tell you exactly what your target audience wants to see, hear, experience.
Exactly. AI can track customer behavior online, identify all those hidden patterns, it can predict future trends, and even personalize content to individual preferences. It's almost like having a crystal ball that actually works.
That's wild, and I bet it takes a lot of the guesswork out of creating marketing campaigns.
Absolutely. So instead of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, marketers can use AI to craft these like really highly targeted campaigns,
Yeah.
ones that actually resonate with their ideal customers.
The book talks about a few AI tools that are already making a big splash in the marketing world. Things like SEMrush, Ahrefs, SparkToro. Can you tell us a little more about what those are all about?
Oh yeah, these tools are like the Swiss Army knives for marketers. Each one has its own set of really powerful features. So for like, the SEO gurus out there, SEMrush and Ahrefs, those are like indispensable. They can help you analyze keywords, they track your rankings, they can even help you research your competitors. You can even use them to audit your website to find any areas that need a little improvement.
So it's basically like having an SEO expert on call 24/7. That's amazing. Okay, but what about SparkToro? What makes that one stand out?
SparkToro is all about audience intelligence. So it helps you figure out like what websites your target audience is on, what social media accounts are they following, what podcasts they're listening to, even like other online places they hang out. It's like being able to see exactly what your ideal customers are reading, watching, listening to.
Man, that is powerful. But with all this talk about all the amazing things AI can do, it makes you wonder about the other side of the coin, right? Like, what are some of the risks or the challenges that we need to be aware of as we integrate AI more deeply into, our lives and our work?
That is such a crucial question, and it's definitely one that we need to address proactively. Because like any powerful tool, AI has the potential to be used for good, but also for, not so good. It's up to us to make sure that we're developing and using it responsibly.
So it's not just about what AI can do, but it's how we're actually using it.
Exactly. We have to be really mindful of the potential for things like, bias creeping in, or discrimination, or even just unintended consequences. We have to put a priority on things like transparency, accountability, fairness in all of our interactions with AI.
So it sounds like we need like a set of ethical guidelines for the age of AI.
We absolutely do. We really need to be having these open and honest conversations about the values and the principles that are going to guide our development and use of these incredibly powerful technologies.
This has been a really incredible deep dive. We've covered so much, from those technical inner workings of AI to the mind-blowing applications it has in creative fields like writing, marketing, even music. But probably most importantly, we also talked about those ethical considerations that are going to be so essential in shaping the future of AI.
It's a really exciting time to be alive, but it's also a little bit daunting when you say. AI is changing the world around us so rapidly, and it's really up to us to make sure that we're shaping that transformation in a way that benefits all of us.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of AI prompts. I hope everyone listening has learned as much as I have, and I hope you're feeling inspired to go out there and unlock your own inner prompt writer.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep asking those tough questions about the role of AI in our world.
Until next time, stay curious, everybody.